right there. LAPD is working with 2 helicopters, and there's a sheriff's helicopter overhead as well. LAPD is the one in pursuit. Earlier on this evening, sheriffs were chasing this van, driving at extremely high speeds on Century around the Manchester area. And then because of the high speeds, they decided to back off. They went into a tracking mode, and then even though the helicopter was in a tracking mode, this car continued with these high speeds. So they basically discontinued the pursuit. Now the information was passed along to LAPD, who picked up this vehicle in the 77th Division area. That's where we are now. I'll get you this major here in just a second, but because of all these helicopters in the area, the LAPD, the law enforcement, has asked us to kind of stay a little bit off, and that's the reason why these shots are a little bit long and you're getting a little bit of eclipsing. But again, original one on this vehicle was stolen vehicle. They tried to pull him over, and the reason why the sheriffs backed off was because of the reckless driving. We're seeing some more of that reckless driving right now. You can see that vehicle, high speeds, one tire believed to be flat or almost flat, one of the fronts. You can see him making a turn there, getting onto another smaller
Also, the lights are out right now.
You can see it right there. This guy was flashing his brights just a moment ago. You had a pedestrian in the roadway out there. Guy driving very recklessly, very high speeds out here. And again, you can see the officers have pretty much backed off. We don't see any of the LAPD ground units. They are in the area. They're basically staging in the area right now. Again, because of those unusually high-speed pursuit maneuvers this guy's been making. Here's another one right there. Basically swinging around, driving on sidewalks right now, and he's got nobody behind him. There are no officers behind him right now, just driving very recklessly. The lights are off on this vehicle, using any ability he can to get away. You can see the number of officers down there, basically just allowing this guy to go right now because they want him to stop acting so recklessly. They're holding traffic in the area. They're making sure that the civilians in this area are not around this guy. That's what they're doing right now. And again, though, you can see him still acting very erratically, driving very fast, wrong side of the road, a little bit slower now, but still a very dangerous situation for all the people involved out here. And he just turned northbound Central, and again, 77th Division LAPD are on the ground down here. He's driving through these neighborhoods, and you can see the number of other vehicles out here, and the way this guy is trying to squeeze through there. And again, that we saw a lot of people out in these neighborhoods this evening too, probably because the temperatures are a little bit cooler. And this evening, and again, another officer right there, basically staying his distance as he bounces through that intersection right there.
And the LASD right now at this point chasing this driver. It appears that one of the tires may have been compromised. Stu, do you know how that tire perhaps got flat or was somehow punctured?
This is Florence. Right now we're on Florence. I'm sorry, somebody else was asking me if we knew the street name. We are on Florence, definitely westbound on Florence out here. You know, I do not believe that tire was flattened by any means from the sheriff's department. Look at him pushing his way through these vehicles right there. Again, though, you know, if you're driving out there and then you have some crazy guy pass you, that's one thing. But to have a crazy guy coming at you on the wrong side of the road head on, that is a very scary situation. Could cause somebody else to slam on the brakes or swerve, creating other accidents. Again, we're just westbound on Florence. Another solid red coming up as we're making our way out here. That light just turned green, and again, this vehicle passing everybody out there. The LAPD helicopter is still with us out there, still lighting this guy up. There is one unit very far behind. I don't want to even you know, get into showing it. Oh, there he is. He's actually moving up on it very quickly. There's more behind it. They're re-engaging this pursuit, and now I'm being told that there actually is a secondary pursuit not related to this at all, just to the north of us. So we have 2 pursuits going on this evening down here in the South LA area. LAPD very busy out down here tonight. I'm looking out the window trying to get an idea. It's northbound 110 right now, but we're going to stay with this one here on Florence, but just a very interesting situation for sure for officers this evening. Coming up here, he is stepping on his brakes. It looks like he's going to try to make a right turn. I'll get you the name of that street. But again, just out here right now, making that turn, working his way north, making another big U-turn out there in the middle of the intersection. Again, cutting people off. You know, taunting officers is basically what it looks like. And there, it definitely is somebody in the passenger seat, talking to or looking at, making contact with other people. There's CHP right there. He slowed down again when he saw those officers. Those are a lot of CHP officers right there. They must have been in the area, unsure if they've been told not to engage that pursuit. But again, you don't see them making a U-turn.
Ken Shocknick and Susie Sa will be handing off now to Lena Wynn and Sylvia Lopez as this high-speed or now low-speed pursuit continues and turns into a pit maneuver that was not successful.
Yes,
so,
it did.
Sylvia, you and Lena are taking over at this point. We will continue our coverage of this stolen van pursuit here on KCAL 9.
Ken, thank you very much. You're watching KCAL 9 News at 9 o'clock. It looked like the officers just tried to use the pit maneuver, and let's bring back in from Sky 9, Stu Mandel. Stu, tell us what happened there.
Well, they just pitted him. They did make contact with the vehicle. They definitely bumped that rear end. That would have brought this to an end right there. Got a red light coming up, and again, this vehicle, after that pit maneuver, got a little agitated. You can see his speeds are picking up a little bit. I'm unclear if there was any damage to the back of the vehicle, but it really shows you that CHP has been cleared to bring this to an end, and it seems like that's what they're planning on doing out here. He's working his way back into that small residential. All these divisions. There's an LAPD officer right there, and it does seem like this is where it's going to come to an end. An LAPD officer actually moving out of his way to let this guy go. He definitely has two flat tires. I can see the fronts are definitely flat, and up on the sidewalk again, he has a rear flat as well, so he might be on all fours. Here we go, here we go, here we go. That's going to bring it to an end. Look at that pit maneuver. Perfect pit. Perfect pit, CHP, and this guy still trying to keep going out here. He lost one of his tires altogether. Looks like something is pouring out of the back of the van right there. I'm hoping that's not gasoline. Maybe it's some type of fluid from inside the vehicle. Again, could create a very dangerous situation with sparks from those wheels. But again, you can see how squirrely this vehicle is now with no tires, picking up higher speeds. Oh! There we go. That's the end of that. This vehicle coming to a stop, and he's still trying to keep going. I'm pretty sure what he was doing right there was just locking up the brakes, but it does seem like this vehicle is starting to really give out. Still trying to keep this car going out here, making a turn onto a residential neighborhood. CHP right behind him out here. Again, even in this kind of a situation, he is going to try to stay his distance and not pit this guy, but you can see a lot of smoke coming out of the back of that vehicle. This is eastbound 91st Street from Avalon. You can see this vehicle right now, still keeping CHP behind him. But again, this very much impaired. This car very dangerous right now. Again, you know, this is where the trouble's really going to start, going through another intersection out there. CHP behind him. That vehicle has at least 3 flat tires, possibly 4. Saw that shower of sparks when he locked up the brakes. And again, you can see that nothing pouring out the back. I'm glad that wasn't gasoline. But again, making another turn out here, and you know, a northbound turn, and a CHP right up there behind him. But they're, you know, it's so tight quarters. Yeah. We're on Wadsworth, and again, very tight quarters. They don't want to create any kind of problem. They don't actually. You know, you got to understand, they don't even want to injure that guy, even though he's a suspect. So again, you got 2 people in the front of that van right there. We saw something spill out the back. He has probably no tires right now, running on rims, still at high speeds. Very dangerous situation. Officers want this to come to an end so fast.
And this erratic and bizarre pursuit has just become even more erratic and bizarre, and you can see the smoke that's coming out of that van, and also from the pit maneuver. This car just incredibly unstable right now, and once again, it's not like this was a safe situation to begin with. It's already been a very wild and bizarre ride for all the officers that are down there on the ground.
It looks like they were getting close to perhaps do another pit maneuver. What's really amazing about this, Stu, is that he's riding on rims. The car looks like it's out of control.
Yeah, it is, and you know, you know, he has 1 tire. We saw 1 solid tire on the back out there. So, he hit a dog. He hit he just hit a little white dog out there. You know, very much an animal lover. I'm sorry, I did, but again, he's still in pursuit. I got to keep focus here. Still in pursuit out here. You see this vehicle, CHP behind him. He's slowing down a little bit. You got a tow truck out there. He's definitely going to need that when that vehicle is going to need that when this comes to an end. Again, cutting off another vehicle and working his way out onto another major street out here. You can see the crowds of people, and again, working his way against traffic. He's making these blocks out here. You can see the number of CHP officers. It looks like they're going to try to pin him again as he's going to make as this one car keeps coming up behind him there. We didn't see that vehicle stop. Sometimes when they do those heavy pit maneuvers, the guy will stop the vehicle. Here he goes. Another spit right there. Look at the sparks.
Wow.
Losing control and trying to save it. Boom. Okay, there we go. He got a little collision there. Officers are going to basically block him in. This is going to be coming to an end right now. You got somebody in the passenger side got his hands up, moving around a little bit. Officers have their guns out. Manchester and Wadsworth, the door's opening. Sorry, we can't swing around right now. There they go. There comes the passenger. Door is open. The vehicle's still in drive. Again, this guy just getting out of the vehicle has got his hands out. Seems to be a female passenger. She's just basically jumping out of the vehicle, laying down right now. It looks like they're going to be bringing this to an end as they're taking this guy into custody. Again, I know it sounds almost silly, but I hope that dog is okay. Yeah. I'm more concerned about that than these guys. But again, this coming to an end out here. We're on Manchester near the cross of Wadsworth. Officers going to check out the back of the vehicle. They're taking that driver into custody. The females, they're going to be the second one they're taking into custody. All this started as a stolen vehicle this evening. Very crazy pursuit out here in the South Los Angeles area.
And Stu, I have to say, as sad as it is that the dog got hit, and we're going to try to find out what happened, it's amazing really that no one else was hurt in this, because this is one of the more bizarre and wild pursuits that we've seen, with the crazy reckless driving, and what you said appeared to be true, that he wanted to taunt officers by going around big, huge circles and these sort of attention-getting maneuvers, in addition to driving at high speeds and on the wrong side.
And so this thing has come to an end. Again, no people were hurt, no accidents caused by this driver who was really just out of control. But the scene will be quite some time down there, as they've now taken the suspects into custody. And they've got quite a lot to deal with there, because this thing lasted over an hour. This man very reckless with that car. That van, again, it was a stolen vehicle. That was the original want on this. Led 3 agencies on quite a chase. It's now come to an end some 1 hour, 15 minutes later. We're happy to report that no pedestrians were hit, no other accidents were caused. Look at all the people who've been following this chase and are now out on the streets and now down there at the crime scene.